Okay, so what we're looking at is, because we're given an x and a y value, that means we're going to use it. It's going to be a specific value. You're going to use it to find c. So let's see what this is actually doing. Remember that dy dx is a derivative. That's one of the notations we use for derivatives, right? Now, I want to solve this, what we now call a differential equation, because I've got the derivative. So I want to solve this derivative equation. That says the derivative of this thing, of what I'm looking for, is that. Now, essentially what you do, multiply both sides by dx. This says that dy is equal to e to the minus x dx. Now in algebra, and this is true of all mathematics, by the way, and we actually did this in college algebra this morning, and then we've done it before too. When you go to solve equations, many times you have to, like if you've got a square on one side, you unsquare it by square rooting both sides, right? Or you might end up squaring both sides if you had a square root. Or if you're solving a logarithmic equation or solving an exponential equation, sometimes you might have to take the log of both sides. So it says as long as what you do to one side, you do to the other side, the equality remains the same. I'm looking for the original equation. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to integrate both sides. So if the two sides are equal, then the integrals of those two sides, or antiderivatives of those sides, should also be equal. What's the antiderivative of dy? What's the constant that's there? Even if you don't see it, it's 1. So what's the antiderivative of dy? You don't see any x's. Y plus c, right? Because if I differentiate y, I get y prime, right? dy dx, or dy. And then, what is the antiderivative of e to the minus x dx? Now remember, this is only an x, so there's no y's there. It's a basic. Take a look at the board. There are your formulas. What's the antiderivative of e to the minus x? Negative e to the minus x. Plus c. But you could say, well, there was a c coming out of here. Right? Well, what do you do with those c's? Yeah, this would be, and I'm only going to do this once, so y is equal to minus e to the minus x plus c2 minus c1, and then what do they say? c2 minus c1 is c. So that y is negative e to the negative x plus c. So remember, it's k is negative 1. So it's 1 over k, 1 over negative 1, e to the minus x. So now they say, suppose y equals negative 3 and x equals 0. If they give me that information, what can I find? C. This says I have a whole family of these guys. An infinite number of choices for C. How many choices for C would I have if I have an x and y value? Just one. It says, now I'm going to go after the family member. So that says y is negative 3 equals e negative e to the minus 0 plus c, negative 3 equals, well, e to the minus 0 is just e to the 0 or 1, so it's minus 1 plus c, or c, add 1 to both sides, is negative 2. So my answer is y equal negative e to the negative x minus 2.